Stars on the way I vibe when I walk into the room. Wind blows underneath the soles of my brand new pair of shoes.
All right. Welcome to the live cold calling podcast here, powered by Monster Connect. I got my man, Tom Slocum. This is going to be slinging some dials with me today. Man, Tom, for folks that maybe don't know who the heck you are, if they've been living under a rock or just know nothing about outbound, why don't you tell them why you're qualified to be joining us for this cold call sesh today?
Hey, 15-year sales vet going on year 16, all outbound my whole career, last 7 years developing and building, FDR teams. And now my own founder and CEO at the FD Lab, where I'm now consulting and advising early stage founders, early stage companies, and building a motion that actually works, that is scalable and produces results. I'm nowhere near the 500,000 cold call mark yet, but I've done about 400,000 in my career. I've done, cold calling's my jam. As the LinkedIn world calls me, the cold calling king. I don't call myself that, but that's what the world says.
Yeah, some might say you're a bit of a guru, a cold calling guru.
Cold calling guru. Yeah, man, that word, right? No, I just try to teach people that it's super easy to cold call. You're going to fuck up. You're going to have mess ups, right? Sorry, LinkedIn, don't ban us. But, it's fun to cold call, and it's the most effective channel still. Cold calling is not dying. It's just evolving. We're going to show you how to do that today and our approaches.
Yeah. So, we're both going to be using Monster Connect today so we can, have 8 to 10 times more conversations than we normally would if we were just using, regular click the dial or power dial or something like that. I'm going to be making calls on behalf of Monster Connect. Tom, who are you calling today? What are you calling for?
Yeah, so calling on behalf of FD Lab, right? My own company. So I'm going to be calling founders, FDR leaders, and just kind of talking to them about, what their plans are in 2023 and where we could find a fit on where I might be able to come in. For those that are watching, right, I'm about to hit my 90th day. I am still getting my bearings. I'm still working on my messaging and my script. So you might see me eat shit a couple of times, but other times, we'll thrive. I got a challenge to book 2 today on Monster Connect, so got to get 2. Or
oh man, you're setting the bar high. You're setting the bar high.
Oh man, I gotta get it, man. I gotta make it happen.
Right.
So I'm excited. We're using Monster Connect. What is Monster Connect, Colin? For those that don't know, what are we doing?
Monster Connect is an agent-assisted dialer that allows your, already trained, successful outbound sales reps, whether you're an AE that prospects or SDR or BDR, to be able to have 8 to 10 times more conversations than they naturally would if they weren't using a technology like Monster Connect. So if you're interested in, putting it to a test drive for yourself, go ahead and go over to monsterconnect.com, check it out. They can get you set up with a trial and all that good stuff. But without further ado, we're going to jump in. We're both going to be making dials here, so it could get a little crazy. That we're likely going to have a lot of conversations. So Tom, I know you're a pro, but like if you get a call, and then I get a call, I'm going to go ahead and just mute myself, and you do the same because if we're both sort of talking at each other, it might get a little wonky here. So. And then everybody who's joining us, thanks for joining us today. If you have any feedback, comments, questions, like keep this exciting, keep it engaged, make it fun for us as well. And hit us in the comments with anything you got for us. All right. So I'm going to get my list queued up. I've got my script, which I'm running literally for the first time ever. So I might make some adjustments on the fly. And I might even take some suggestions from the audience here if they got any feedback. All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
Let me guess. So you going with a permission-based opener?
How dare you? Don't you dare. No, I am not doing a PBO. My script is super simple, right? Hey, it's Tom over at the FD Lab. How have you been? Is sometimes my clutch opener. How have you been? Not how are you? Kind of create some familiarity with them. And then I'm going right into it, right? Hey, Colin, the reason for my call is wanted to talk about your strategies going into 2023. Most of the people I'm talking to, most founders right now are trying to find a way to X, Y, Z, right? And get into it. But I do not do permission-based openers. Not my jam. I think they gave me permission.
What you got against permission-based openers?
I just think it's crazy. They answered the phone. They already gave the permission on, again, on that phone, they have a right to decline or answer. If you answer, I need to get right to it. You've got that 15, 30 seconds to get into that call. I don't think I need to re-verify. Hey, Peter. Hey, Peter, it's Tom Slocum over at the FD Lab. How have you been? I'm calling with a company called SD Lab. I'm the founder over here and CEO. My name is Tom Slocum. The reason I was giving you a call is I understand that you are the co-founder of Vasafari Technology. Is that right? Oh, all right. Which part? That you work there or that you're no longer doing it? So misinformation on my end. Yep. Okay. No problem, Peter. I'll update on my system. But thank you so much. Alrighty. Bye. So one thing I run into my data every time I get on these things is like everything aligns and the person's like, that is not like at all me. And I'm like, no, that's you. And they're like, it's not me, dude. And I'm like, shoot. That
Yeah.
was not Peter.
Especially when you're
Uh,
working with like good data and direct dials and numbers. Sometimes I find like you could get somebody with the exact right name, but it's not the right person you're looking for.
that's it, right? Like it's not, it's weird. But yeah, that happened. One call down. That was so fast.
Hey, Christopher, this is Colin over at Monster Connect. It's a cold call. It's actually my first time giving you a call here, but do you have like half a minute and I can tell you exactly why I'm calling you today? Yeah, so I'm actually just, calling here to introduce my company Monster Connect when I'm not calling you out of the blue. Would you be available like Tuesday or Thursday next week around 9 a.m. your time? Yeah, yeah, your time, your local time there, and definitely want to make sure that it's relevant. I'm actually calling from Monster Connect. Have you ever heard of us before? Yeah, so I was doing a bit of research and saw that you guys over there have a sales team. Looks like you're doing some prospecting. Looks like your team does cold calling. Is that true? Ah, got that. Okay, when did that happen? Got it. Look, okay. Well, I'll definitely update that. Best of luck to you, and thanks for taking the time today. Really appreciate it.
what was that comment that came up? I
Ah,
can't see it
so
on live LinkedIn.
there's a bunch of comments going in here. Um, I'll
There
pull
was
some
another
up.
one is don't use the lead CEO founder in there. Somebody said because I used that on
Oh,
my open. Stop
Kevin,
cheating.
Kevin. Let's see what Kevin's got to say. Kevin from Medium. Stop cheating with that founder CEO lead in. Position yourself as an SDR. Yeah, I'm. It kind of depends, man. If you're calling founder to founder, you can have some good conversations. Personally,
It's
I don't use the title at all. Um,
I'm gonna try. So the biggest thing that's helped me being my own founder and kind of stay in this motion is I have definitely treated myself as an employee of the SD Lab, right? Like
yeah,
in that mindset of what I've done of I'm building out a motion for SD Lab, which yeah, I happen to be the founder of, but I'm going into my messaging and my stuff as like I'm an SDR trying to book a meeting for an AE. I just happen to be that AE, when it comes time. So I'm trying to stay in that mentality
that
of that
founder,
that
SDR, and AE.
yeah, I got it all. So I will not cheat. I will use my script as I'm just, doing business development for FD Lab, right? And try to sell what we all aim to do, which is just sell the meeting. That's the whole point, right? Is I'm trying to sell just the meeting, not the whole kitchen sink, not trying to close the deal on the call, but just
Hey
sell the
Rex,
interest.
Colin here from Monster Connect. Actually, it's my first time giving you a call. It's a cold call, but do you have like half a minute, and I can tell you exactly why I'm reaching out to you today? Got it. Okay. Is there a scenario where recommending a tool like Monster Connect for the organizations that you work with would be worth having a chat? Got it. Hey, well, Rex, I'll definitely update that here and appreciate your time. Take care.
Hey, Todd. Hey, Todd. Tom Slocum over at the SD Lab. How have you been? Doing very well. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, a good time to recharge a little bit. The reason I was reaching out to you is I see, yeah, it's a nice little weekend, right? And now we're kind of going into the nice, fun time of December here. But hey, I don't want to take much of your time. This is a cold call. I'm reaching out to you because I know you're the founder there at Blue Streak. And I was just curious what you guys are doing around some of your outbound process in 2023. Some of my founders are getting ready to deploy their motion and look at hiring. Are you guys, you've been around for about 4 years. What's a big priority for you in 2023? Hey, yeah, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear that. So that's what we do at SD Lab. We're an outbound agency that helps consult and advertise folks as they're trying to grow and scale. As we've all seen, layoffs, VCs, it's gotten pretty aggressive.
Hey, Marty, this is Colin over at
Going into
Muscle Connect.
2023.
This is actually my
So do you
first
have
time
time
giving a
next
call
week for
here.
30 minutes to maybe
But
jam with me and
do
we
you
can
have like
talk a little
half
bit
a
about your processes and see if we. Okay. Oh, awesome. Holy cow. Yeah, I'd love to chat with you the week of the 12th. I could send an invite for Tuesday, the 13th at, say, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. Okay, cool. No, I know. Yeah, I'll send it over for now just so it's there. If it doesn't work and you get back to the office and you're like, hey, that's not corresponding, we can adjust. But I just want to talk with you, see what your priorities are in that growth. And maybe we could come in and help you from the side and do some coachings and show you what we do here. So I'll send that invite over to you and we will talk on the 13th after your sales and marketing meeting on the 13th. Awesome. I can't thank you enough. And we will talk soon. I'll get that invite over to you. It'll come from Tom at the fdlab.com. And then if you want to bring in marketing or anybody else into the call, just feel free to shoot that invite over to him. And I will talk to you then, Todd. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I'm going to send you some testimonials, some resources, just to kind of, I know we're in a brief, small 5-minute window here, so it's hard to explain it all. But I will make sure you have a clear understanding of the website and things. And then we'll talk on the 13th. Awesome, Todd. You have a great day. I'll talk with you soon. Bye. Well, there you go, folks. Holy cow. Boom.
All right.
One down, sir.
You booked one?
Yeah.
Ah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
That's what I
on
was
mute
doing.
because I was in a conversation, and dude, he had lots of objections, and I kept digging and just couldn't get him to be
Just wasn't
open.
giving it.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, jeez.
Boom. One down, one to go.
Yeah, I just talked to Todd. He was the founder. Super cool. They're scaling and growing in 2023 for their team. And he was like, dude, let's chat. Let's see. So he asked me in my follow-up email to just share the website, a few resources. But we're going to send an invite for December 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And he was driving. So when he gets back, right, he'll confirm if that actual day and time works. But he was in. Super
Nice.
easy call.
Nice.
That was good.
So
Monster Connect for the win. That was only 6 dials in, 2 conversations, and we secure a meeting.
yeah, so looks like you've had about 37 dials, 3 conversations in one meeting.
There you go. I like it. One of those calls beeped and nobody was there, so that was good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
not bad.
So far, we've had a total of 85 dials, 6 conversations, and Tom was able to book 1 meeting, and that's literally in with us kind of introing in here, I'd say roughly 14, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was fast, man. Like, dude, I'm telling you, doing the phones is the fastest way to get a meeting. I was just coaching a team before this for about an hour, and it's just so effective, right? You can have a hat trick by the time this hour is over, right? Like, I can have a hat trick in the next hour, and then I have all the day to like do some social stuff, develop my list, and do other things versus, email where it might take me 3 days to hear from somebody, or a social touch and LinkedIn where they might not be super active. That was real time. Meeting booked, done, like within, a few dials.
Yeah. It's the quickest way to get real-time feedback. If you're testing a new offer, testing a new ICP, testing a new message,
Yes.
or just trying to get a business off the ground.
Hey, Carlos. Hey, Carlos. Tom Slocum over at the SD Lab. How are you doing? Doing very well.
Hey,
I hope you had a
Pablo,
good
this is Colin over at Monster
Thanksgiving
Connect.
weekend. I was just
Looks like Tom's in a call there. Tom, you can unmute whenever you get a second.
It is, right? Okay.
There we go. He's back.
Yeah, please do, Carlos, right? Being a one-man shop, I know what that's like. You're doing a lot all by yourself. You're trying to figure out where to go. Once you start looking at an outbound motion and you want some direction, that's what I do. That's what FD Lab does. We'll help you through a 14-week program that'll really give you the structure to
Hey, Ryan,
test,
this is Scollum
implement,
over at
and
Monster
optimize
Connect.
the
This is
process
actually my
before you roll in that first hire, right? And give you that structure. So yeah, once you're ready, next quarter, how do you have a timeline on when you want to start taking Solex a little bit more loudly to the market? Awesome. 100%. Yep, I will get everything over to you. I've got your email as carlos.bes@soliex.com, right? Okay. I'll send you everything on SD Lab. You'll have my contact information. I think another call would be worth it. We could chat out what's kind of holding you back from making that motion, right? Getting you some processes, and even how to even go to market, right? Maybe you don't even know how to get out there and make some noise. We could be a good partnership together, and I can help you out with that. So I'll shoot all that over to you, and yeah, look forward to talking to you. Have a great holiday break, and we'll talk soon. All righty, Carlos. See ya. One man
Got
guy,
it.
5-year
Okay.
company.
And
Oh, now Colin's jamming out. Get him, Colin. Okay. Is that
yeah,
you, Colin? You back? Here we go.
yeah, yeah. No, hey, I appreciate the time, and I could definitely send you some email, but hey, man, I have to ask: is there something you'd love to see in that email? Like, is there some genuine interest there, or are you just being a nice guy, Ryan, and trying to get rid of me? Yeah, yeah. If I can send you over, well, how about this? Just to make it productive here, because I know I hate doing follow ups probably as much as you hate receiving them. How about I send that email over? Would you be open to putting something on the calendar in 2 weeks? If you don't like what you see in the email, then we can go ahead and cancel that meeting. Okay, fair enough. I'll send you that information over, and Ryan, appreciate you taking the call and taking the time.
Small note, dude. I love when people close and still try to get the meeting and then say, hey, based on the email, feel free to cancel that meeting out or keep it. But I already have you here. So let's get all of it knocked out. I'll send you that email, the books, and then hey Dave. Hey Dave, Tom Slocum over at the FD Lab. How have you been? We do not. This is a cold call. I know you from LinkedIn. I sent you a request over there. I know you're the co-founder there at CentiBlink. Is that right? So it's a consulting firm for the outbound motion. I obviously you guys have been around for a little bit. You're doing some great things. I was just curious what you guys were doing. Go ahead. Oh no, this isn't. Yeah, this isn't a lead service or anything. It's more of helping you develop an opportunity to improve your outbound motion by about 20% in meetings booked and pipeline. It's not more like me booking meetings for you. Sounds good. Absolutely. Have a good one. Oh, Dave was not having it. Nope.
Okay. So you're not
Yeah.
at Tiger Paw anymore. Got it. What are you up to these days? Got it. Hey, well, thanks for taking the call. Appreciate it, and best of luck in the job search.
How'd that go?
Man, I'm getting a lot of that. I mean, this is like, I don't know about you, Tom, but like, there's a lot of people like, I'm not there anymore. Like, I'm hearing that
It's
way more often on the
yeah.
phone than I was previously.
Yeah, it's happening more and more. Luckily enough, I'm in like the founder space, so most of them are accurate. But like in others, like other coaching SDRs, like the amount of data that these people are getting isn't accurate because in the last 3 months it hasn't been actively updated, and obviously a lot of people are getting let go, moving around. It's a hell of a struggle there. Do you ever think to go after what they're doing next? Like I used to do that in some meetings where I'm like, "Hey, you're not there anymore. Where are you now?" And turns out
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
still
yeah.
a VP of marketing, but they're somewhere else.
Yeah. So I asked him, what are you up to now? And he's looking for a
Yeah.
job. So,
Okay.
hey, Richard, this
Yeah.
is Colin with Monster Connect. We've actually never spoken before. It's my first time giving you a call here, but do you have a half a minute for me to double tap you? Double tap.
Did you lose the mid? Double tap, redial.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that dude was not having it. My call went real south, real fast. He was like, "Tom, I don't care. I don't want to talk to you." I was like, "Okay."
The key is to not take that stuff personal.
It is right. If we could tell anybody out there, like, dude, it just happens. You're not gonna hit every single, ball out there, right? Every call. Some people just don't like it.
I mean, some people, the phone is just not the best channel. Like doesn't matter. You can call
It,
them, they're not going to pick up. They're going to be irritated every time. That's part of it. But so anybody who is listening today, definitely go check out the Cold Calling podcast. It's on all of your favorite podcast apps. That's where we drop best moments from these sessions.
hey, Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan, this is Tom Slocum over at the FD Lab. How have you been? Since the break, this is a cold call. We've never actually spoken before. I was just reaching out to you because I know you're the co-founder there at Growth Spark. Did you have a few minutes to chat, or is it a bad time for you? And that's why you don't use permission-based openers. I did that one for you all. They immediately were like, "No, I don't. Like, gotta go." And he hung up because I give him the out, right? You just don't do it. Like, and he immediately was like, "No, I'm good."
Hey,
thanks."
Mark, this is Colin over at Monster Connect. We've actually never spoken before, but do you have like half a minute and I can tell you exactly why I'm reaching out to you today? Not interested, but he didn't give me a reason. So
Hey.
I'm definitely calling him back.
Yeah, is that a no for you?
No, it's not a
It's
no.
really not. Right?
It's a hey, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, or hey, you caught me right before I'm trying to eat my lunch, or like F off, I don't want to take a cold call right now.
That's it, right? I thought so many SDRs would like back in my old teams and stuff. They would mark that as not, and not interested, and like take them out of their rotation. And I'm like, for what?
Oof.
Like all they did was just a bad day, and we were missing
Yeah.
out on opportunities because they would disqualify when they didn't get anything. It's like,
Or
come on
something
now.
that I learned early on is like never write a negative note, right? Like hung up, like writing that sort of note in the CRM or in the dialer or whatever, just avoid it, because the next time you see that, lead pop up and you see that, the reluctance is going to kick in. you know Brian, this is Colin over at Monster Connect. We've actually never spoken before, but do you have like half a minute and I can tell you exactly why I'm reaching out to you today? Yeah. So reason I'm reaching out, Brian, is really just to introduce my company when I'm not calling you out of the blue here. Are you available like Tuesday or Thursday next week, 9 a.m. your time?
Hey, John.
Got it. When do you think you guys would be looking at
Hey, John. This is
evaluating
Tom
tech
Slocum
stack and
over at
stuff
the
like that
FD
again?
Lab. How have you been?
Got it. Well, hey, thanks so much for taking the call today. Appreciate your time. I'll go ahead and update everything here. All right. So that was a big difference, right? The first, hey, didn't even get into my script, and the guy said he wasn't interested. In that case, definitely going to call him back because he didn't give me a good reason. This one, hey, we got into it a bit. He said he was familiar with Monster Connect, but they just got acquired. They're adopting the tech stack of that company. It's just something they're not looking into at all. So that's the big difference. Not interested with a solid reason, like there's no need to call this guy back, versus the hey, not interested. I don't want to take your call, or I'm not interested in having a conversation with you right now. Looks like Tom is in a
You've got it all
call.
synced in. Reason I'm reaching out, right? Like I said, is I would love to talk to you about how to improve your pipeline and meetings booked by about 20%. Going through consultancy, right? Talk through coaching your reps, see what some challenges you have, to where you might be able to cut out that outbound department or that outsourced outbound and just keep everything internal because they'll be able to outproduce that. Do you have some time next week to maybe grab 30 minutes with me and we could just hash it out and kind of see what some plans are in 2023 and where I might be able to help you all out? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a switch in any shape or form. I don't do outbound services, right? It's not something of that nature. More ideally, it's consulting and advisory, right? To where we would go through 14 weeks together and be able to really align your go-to-market motion in a way that will be successful in 2023, right? We both know messaging and the process has changed. VCs are getting more aggressive with their numbers, and teams just aren't performing or adapting. So I'm able to come in and through the 14-week program, we're devising and implementing an entire motion for you. So right now, yes, you are using that other service. Keep using it. That's completely fine. But what we'll do is work internally with your folks to where maybe we can up level them up and help you too, right? On what's a priority, maybe new tech stack, right? You're already using Apollo, you're using HubSpot. Maybe there's some other tech we can dive into that'll remove, your team's roadblocks. So it's more like an enablement outbound agency, right? I want to come in and support you in helping you grow revenue and improve those numbers to your VC. So that's really the pitch in itself. Is just helping founders, early stage companies, get an increase of around 20% in meetings booked and pipeline just by making some adjustments and working with them. So if you want, we can go through it next week for 30 minutes. I'll show you some clients I'm working with. Maybe we just talk about this deeper, what you guys are doing, where some challenges are, and maybe you're cold calling or, let me ask you this. What is your open rates and reply
Hey,
rates looking
Jeremy,
like
this is
in
Colin over
your
at
campaign?
Monster Connect.
Okay. 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 Cool. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to connect with them. I don't see them on LinkedIn. I see you there, right? You're the managing partner there. Who would it be? Chris Akey? Okay. hmm Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I like what that's doing too. It's smart AI, right? That's syncing Google to Microsoft and doing some things about the back and forth scheduling. I'm very familiar with like Calendly, Chili Piper, some of the other folks that are in that space. But yeah, I would love to talk to you about how your team can get effective in selling multiple products, getting out their messaging in a way that is, on average, seeing about 5 to 10% reply rates, right? Getting those open rates up. So why don't I send you an email? I'll shoot that over to you. You can relay it over to the right folk who's actually
Hey, Nathan,
overseeing
this
this,
is
and
Colin over
maybe we
at.
can grab a time. Oh, okay. Yep. Yep, I just want to understand, look under the hood. We can talk about a few things, not the typical demo or anything like that. I don't want to make you guys carve 30 minutes to waste your time. Austin, I appreciate that. If you can hear me, if you want to drop me that email real quick, I will get something over to you, and then we can look at a time to connect. What's Austin's email? Perfect. Okay. My name's Tom Slocum. It'll come from the SD Lab Austin. So I'll shoot that over in a little bit and get that out to you with some resources. Do you, Austin, if you have your calendar available, did you want to book something for next week, say the 14th at like 10 a.m. Pacific? And then I'll send that over. And if you need to move it around, go ahead. Ooh, that would be even cooler. Yes. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, shoot that to me, Austin. My email is tom at the FD, S is in Sam, D is in dog, lab.com. And you can send me Sidekick. We'll check it out. I'll book a time with you for the 14th that you have open. And then I will talk to you guys, you gentlemen, on the 14th. And we could see what we could do to help you guys in 2023 a little bit. You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll get that email over to you shortly. All right. See you guys. Are you there, Colin? You still on a call?
Just ended a call.
No.
That sounded like it went pretty well on your side.
It did. Todd was the guy who was talking to, but Austin was actually in the conference room. They have a scheduling tool, so he's actually going to email it to me so I can see how it actually works in real time. But we're going to book a call for the 14th. They have an internal sales team, but they're also using an outbound agency to book meetings. They've used it for about 2.5 months. They don't know their open rates. They didn't know those questions. And that got their attention because he was like, I don't know those things. And I said, cool, let's just talk about it, right? He's like, cool. So like a free consultation kind of thing, right? Or just chat it out. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to take much of your time. So I'm going to meet with the both of them on the 14th.
Nice. Very nice. Well done. It sounds to me like you've got your targeting down, man. Like you have a list that responds well to your message.
It's about targeting, right? And knowing I'm going after, I have my ICP to under $1 million in revenue. They are B2B. They are founders and co-founders that have shown that their growth is declining or improving. So I'm able to really get in there, right? And find out what's going on. What are they looking at in 2023? Most of them are dealing with the pressures of the VCs. And so as soon as I kind of say that line, they're like, hell yeah. And I'm like, cool, let's help you get over that to where you're not running into that. And so, yeah, it's been really, really good.
Nice. So if everybody who's joined us today, man, is super engaged audience here. Thank you everybody for joining us. This session is, brought to you by Monster Connect. Also, we have the Cold Calling Podcast. So what is the Cold Calling Podcast? It's where you can hear the other side of the conversations, where you can hear, what's happening on the side when these meetings are being booked, as well as best moments from these sessions. So you can check out the Cold Calling Podcast on whatever podcast platform you enjoy listening to podcasts on. Definitely check it out. Man, you said you were going to set 2. I mean, I think you set the bar. I think you set the bar a little too low.
I didn't mark that one.
Yeah,
I didn't mark that one, so I'm annoyed. So make sure in the numbers, I didn't mark John. I accidentally just closed it out. But yeah, 2. Looks like I've done 83 dials, maybe. What does it say on my end? I think it's 83.
Let's take a look. Just so you can get an idea of what's going on here. So if we look at Tom specifically here, so it looks like Tom's had about 83 dials, 7 conversations, 2 meetings booked. If we look at, combined kind of what's happening here, 190 dials in the, 35-ish minutes here that we've been both clicked in. 190 dials, we're getting, 10.6 to 1 dial to connect. So for every 10 dials, we're having a conversation. Total between the two of us, we've had 18 conversations. And we had two meetings booked, and then I got one referral that wants some information. I pressed for the meeting, but just couldn't quite get there. Sometimes you got to know when to let up and when is too much, man.
Hey, if you're selling, you're doing it wrong. That's what I say, right? You shouldn't have to throw a square into a circle. Talk to folks, conversate, understand where that pain is, try to get to that. And if it's not there, it's not there. It's okay. You can't go swinging your bat every single time as hard as possible because you're just. Hey, Christopher.
Hey, Patrick. This is Scollum with Monster Connect.
Lost that one. Cool.
Do you have about a half a minute so I can tell you exactly why I'm calling you today? Double tap. You gonna hang up too? You double tapping?
Oh, no, I'm still. I just move on. I don't do the double tap. I don't.
What? You don't do permission-based openers? You don't do double tap? Like, dude, are you a real cold caller?
I mean, I booked 2 and you got 0. So, hey. I put my time where it needs to be, right? I'm not chasing folks. I'm not trying to burn folks. Like, I've got enough target and TAM and kind of accounts that, like, hey, I don't got to force it. If you're selling, you're doing wrong. But I don't do the double tap. I had an SDR, Jordan Ford, good SDR of mine, who she double tapped. Hey, Andy? Andy, it's Tom Slocum over at the SD Lab. How have you been? The SD Lab. I'm calling you. I was seeing that you are this is a cold call. I'll be upfront with you. I was just giving you a call because I know you're the chief technical officer over at Gilded. Is that right? I think I lost him. Yep. That was clunky. I was not ready. Dude,
double tap. Come on. You know you want to.
I just did. All right, let's see.
Do it. I'm gonna change your mind on this right now.
Damn, sent the voicemail.
Hey, Christina, this is Colin over at Monster Connect. We've actually never spoken before, but do you have half a minute and I can tell you exactly why I'm calling you today?
No.
Yeah, sounds like I caught you at a bad time. I'm happy to maybe call back at a better time. Okay, take care. Yeah, she sounded like she was like.
Mind.
Yeah, she sounded like she was.
Change your mind to be more direct. Get in there, dude. Get in there.
All right, I'll drop the permission-based opener. I'm not married to the permission-based opener. I've used the how are you doing? How you been in the past. We actually used that in one of the sessions, one of the live cold call sessions before we had David Walter on. He wrote a book, The $1 Million Rebuttal or something like that. And that's part of his technique is that, how have you been? And I was like, dude, I would never say that. And I think I booked 3 meetings in that session.
Every single person I've called right now is like, hey, do I know you? Like, what's up? And it makes it just friendly, right? To where it's not, as soon as you say, how are you? It's a wrap. Like,
look, the main thing is, man, have fun. Do what you're most confident doing.
Yeah.
If permission-based openers, it feels weird and awkward, don't do it. If you feel confident doing it, then you get more success. Hey, Kevin, this is Colin with Monster Connect. How you been? He hung up on me. I'm going to call him back.
Read out. Say it again. No, but you're right, dude. Sales that's the beauty of the art. That's where, 85% of what you do, we are all doing. It's that difference of that 15% that makes it you, right? I always talk about permission-based openers and I agree with them. And I know from friends that slay it with it. It's not bad. It just doesn't work for me, right? If I use it, it's not good.
Looks like Chris has a question for you.
What percent of the TAM do I need to spam in order to get Lambo money? Somebody help me get the spreadsheet calculator. I got you. I've built that. I have a calculator that'll tell you exactly how big of a TAM you need to be spamming. No way. Not happening.
It's going to take a long time. Put it that way.
It's going to take a minute.
Just keep at it. Don't give up.
That's awesome. This is incredible. 1 hour in. I'm trying to get the hat trick. I would really like to walk away with one more.
Oh, you got it in you, dude. We got 15 minutes left. That's plenty of time. I mean, 15 minutes, you're probably going to have at least, what?
3 more?
3 to five, six conversations. Depends on how good your data is.
Mm-hmm. You
Where
coming at
did
my
you
data?
where's your data? Where are you getting your data? Somebody had asked that. There's so many comments in here. I haven't been able to address all of them. Some
Um, I actually have it through Zoom Info. I also have a new stealth provider coming out as of tomorrow. That is coming out
Ooh,
of Stealth. They're a
stealth.
co-founder. Oh, I love
Stealth.
it. I'm excited for them. They're taking a run at Zoom Info. As long as you have one piece of information, it will find you the prospect's info, whether you have a phone number, a URL, a LinkedIn, like it doesn't matter as long as you have something. And then you can search. But that's where I'm getting my data. I've got about a 75 to 80% like clean mobile numbers, clean folks. Yeah, it's been good.
It's better than the average, like 30%.
For real.
All right. Hey, Patrick, this is Colin over at Monster Connect. How you been? Monster Connect. Have you ever heard of us before? No, yeah, that's not us. But anyway, reason I'm calling here, Patrick, is I know I'm calling you a bit out of the blue here, and it's my first time giving you a call, but I'm actually calling to introduce my company to you when I'm not calling you out of the blue. Would you be available like Tuesday or Thursday next week around 9 a.m. your time? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely want to make sure it's relevant. I was doing a bit of research. Looks like you manage a sales team. Looks like they do prospecting and outbound, possibly cold calling. Is that true? Got it. And when your reps are, doing outbound cold calling, do you know what their dial to connect ratio is? Like how many conversations they're having?
Hey, I was looking to speak with Enla. Hey, Enla, this is Tom Slocum calling from the SD Lab. How have you been? How's the week going for you? The
Yeah.
SD Lab? Yeah, we've never spoken. I am calling as a cold call to you. I understand that you're the founder and CEO at the Productive app. And I was just wanting to chat a little bit about your 2023 plans and your outbound motion. Do you
Not
have a
not
second?
quite. So basically what we do is we make your reps 8 to 10 times more productive by
Correct.
having more
Yeah. So I'm
conversations.
reaching out. You
So
guys are productive.
if they were dialing for an
Go ahead.
hour, they'll have 10 conversations per hour instead of one. This works really well if you're looking to do more with less, or if you're sort of on the brink of hiring more reps. You can put something like this in place, save yourself a ton of money, and make your reps more productive. Yeah, without getting too deep in the weeds here, because I know I'm calling you out of the blue. So it's a dialing technology. It's called agent assisted dialing. So we're able to have real people, real humans making calls, navigating phone trees and voicemails and dealing with all the stuff that makes cold calling a real pain in the what. And then only serve your reps with conversations with the people that they want to talk to. Is that something you'd be open to learning a bit more about, say, next week or possibly the week after? Hmm. Yeah. So you load your list up, and then we have agents that are going to make those calls, and serve you up those live conversations. So it's going to free your rep up to have to make a ton of dials, deal with voicemails, phone trees, all that other stuff. And so every time, just like how I got a hold of you today, I was able to just sit here on the line and wait for them to reach you, and then I was able to get connected with you. So in hour's time, I might have 10, 12 conversations, which is like 10 to 12 times more than what the average is if you don't use something like this. Sounds, I mean, I might be wrong here, but sounds like you're, at least a little bit intrigued. Do you have your calendar in front of you? Yeah. Well, yeah, got it. And how many total people do you have, that are making cold calls today? Yeah. Perfect. I mean, hiring is tough, right? So that's when something like this makes a lot of sense, because hiring more people is expensive, takes a lot of time, and hiring's never easy. God forbid you make a mistake in that process. But instead of hiring people, sometimes they'll put a solution like this in place to just make the people that they already have, that are trained, that know the process, that know how to book meetings and have these conversations, make them more productive. Yeah, yeah, no, I appreciate that. I can definitely send you over some information, and then check back. What would be the best email for you, Patrick? Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Michael.
All right, take care. All right, so put that one in a follow up for next week. He was close, man. He was close. Got into a pretty good conversation there, but he just wouldn't commit to the meeting.
Damn. So
That's
close.
okay, man. Not, like a lot of the magic is in the follow ups. The next time
Yeah.
we call, take good notes, recapture the conversation. Um, People don't effectively work their follow ups, which is where most of the meetings are going to happen anyway.
It is. It is, right? It's the follow up. It's what you do next, to really drive that value. It's not always right off that first call. They need a little bit more info.
Yeah. So let's look at the. Hey Sam, this is Colin over at Monster Connect. How you been? Oh, okay. I was looking for Sam. Did I get the wrong number? Got it. Yeah, I'm actually. This is a cold call, so I was looking to reach Sam. Is Sam the one that leads the sales team there? Oh, okay. Got it. What was your name? I'm sorry. Omar, I'm just calling you out of the blue here. So I was really just calling to introduce Monster Connect to you when I'm not calling you out of the blue. Have you ever heard of Monster Connect before? Well, just wanted to introduce our company to you when it's not a cold call here. Are you free like Tuesday or Thursday next week around 9 a.m. your time? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely want to make sure it's relevant. I was doing a bit of research. Looks like you guys have a sales team. Looks like they do outbound prospecting, possibly cold calling. Is that all accurate? Got it. And when your reps are, doing outbound, making cold calls, do you know what their dial to connect ratio is? Like, how many conversations are they having for every dial? Great. Do you know what tools are currently in the tech stack? Just want to make sure this is relevant to you.
Do you even know the tools you're using? Come on now.
Yeah. Okay, so that's awesome. Perfect. Yeah. So the reason I'm calling is, when your reps are making calls and using phone burner, they're probably seeing, maybe, 1 to 2 conversations every hour. That's, power dialer. With something like Monster Connect, we can make sure that they have 8 to 10 times as many conversations as they would on phone burner. So just curious if that's something that would be of interest to you if you guys are, looking to increase your dial to connect ratio coming into the new year. So basically, phone burner is like a power dialer. We're an agent assistant dialer, so there's actually real human beings on the front end making dials for your team. And then, they're navigating phone trees, dealing with voicemails, gatekeepers, all that stuff that makes cold calling a pretty painful process. And then serving your reps up with live conversations when your decision makers are on the phone. Yeah. Are you are you guys looking to hire new reps anytime soon? And I mean, is making the reps you have more productive, is that a priority at all? Got it. I mean, without getting too deep in the weeds here, would it be worth 20 minutes of your time in the next week or two to, give this a serious look? Okay. Well, hey, Omar, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Ah, man, that one was
All right.
looking good, man. But let's see, we're almost at the end here. Anybody? I feel like you had some feedback there, Tom. Yeah, I feel like I said something, and you were like, ah. Did
Mm-mm.
you have some? Did you have some feedback?
Mm-mm. No, I thought you did a great job. I gotta jump here at the top of the hour for another call, but no, I think you did good, dude. I didn't have anything outside of what we already talked about with the PBOs and stuff. But
Yeah.
no, I think you did a good job.
Well, I didn't use the PBO there. I
You
didn't
did
use the
not. You
PBO.
did not. And look at what
I'm getting.
happened.
Yeah, hey, I'm not married to the PBO,
I'm
man.
just
Like,
playing with you.
uh,
I'm
I'm
just
down to
ripping it with
drop the
you.
PBO, but it started off a little rocky there because first of all, this guy answered the phone. It wasn't the person I was looking for. I asked for who the sales leader was. He said it was me. He didn't want to give me his name. Like, it was this just like back and forth game of table tennis with the conversation until he finally like let down his guard just a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah, and then he just went to a cold not interested without a good reason.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, sometimes
somebody
you
like
just gotta
that,
figure
I'd
it
call
out.
him back 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Totally, right? It's not a not, it's just, you whip that one, but you come back in 2, 3 weeks when they forget about you, and you have another attempt at it, right? With a little bit more value.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've planted the seed. Like, hey, are you trying to make? Are
exactly.
you is making your reps more productive a priority, right?
And if they're gonna
And
say no, then that's a real problem.
and and,
Then you're like,
and he doesn't know his dial to connect ratio. But if I were if I were him and I just got off that conversation, within the next day or two, I'm logging in, I'm trying to see what the dial to connect ratio is. If I'm not happy
of
with
course,
it, the next time that I get a call like that today, I'm a little more open to hearing what they got to say.
yep, 100%, brother. Killed it, man. Well, I got to jump. I got two. I appreciate this. This was a phenomenal
Just
time.
you're just gonna book
Powering
two and
through.
just peace out like that.
Hey, I did my deed. Now I got to go talk to a client. But yeah, man, I had an absolute blast. I
Cool,
thought that
man.
was fun. Monster Connect is incredible. That was the easiest experience. You just go in and let it do its thing. It was actually not clunky. Everything came up that I needed to come up. I was very impressed. It was a good time.
Yeah, 320 dials, 10-to-1 dial to connect ratio, 30 conversations, and Tom booked 2 meetings. Boom.
Woo!
There you go.
Nice.
All
Nice.
right, man. I'll close us out here. Thanks, Tom. Everybody who joined us today, thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of the engagement here on the feed here, comments. If you want to try out Monster Connect yourself, go to monsterconnect.com. They'll let you try it out. Also, if you want to hear the other side of some of these conversations, just go check out the Cold Calling Podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms.
Boom. Absolutely love it, man. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to show it.